I used to love collecting everything that people discard, to turn it into a masterpiece that I proudly display in my house, or sell at a price that amply covers what I've spent. I've never been embarrassed to pick something up from the trash. The more insignificant the item, the more I'm motivated to refurbish it with unparalleled enthusiasm. One day, as I walked my usual morning route to stretch my legs, I saw an elderly woman carrying bags of garbage heading towards the dumpster. What caught my attention was a mannequin lying next to the trash. I hurried over to inspect it when the woman said,
"This mannequin is mine, or it used to be. I need to dispose of it as it's in a pitiable state. The fabric has deteriorated and termites have infested the wood. I fear for the rest of my furniture from those damned insects."
"Are you a tailor, ma'am?"
I used to be, sir, but
The lady stretched out her hands, and I noticed them trembling intensely. Sadness was evident on the face of the tailor, so I asked, "I hope you have another source of income besides tailoring. Your sadness is evident."
"I manage, but my sorrow is due to my inability to pursue a job I've loved since childhood. Everything has an end, and today is the end for this mannequin that once wore the most beautiful clothes with pride and dignity."
I intended to take it, but I've reconsidered now. I repair old things, then sell them or use them to decorate my house. I'm an antiques and unique items enthusiast.
"Please take it. It's better than having it thrown away and crushed into ugly little pieces. But please take good care of it. It's my entire past."
I promise, ma'am.
Miriam.
My name is Jad. It was an honor to meet you, ma'am. I carefully lifted the mannequin, looking back at the woman who seemed as if someone was taking her child away. I felt a tinge of guilt, but then I remembered that its fate with me was far better than what was originally intended for it. Upon reaching my house, I started refurbishing the mannequin, which was in a deplorable state after years of being pricked by pins. I replaced the old fabric, which had wrapped it for many years, with another made of silk after I repaired its wooden base and treated it for termites. Then I adorned it with beads and multicolored straws and wrapped a feathered shawl around its neck. From afar, the mannequin looked like an elegant lady ready to go to a ball, like those held over a century ago. The result was astonishing, and my heart swelled with pride. I remembered Lady Miriam and imagined her joy if she saw the mannequin in its new form, but I resolved that she should never see it, fearing she might want it back. I took some photos of the mannequin for personal use, to display online for potential sale, and to remotely show its former owner. Soon after uploading the mannequin's photos on my webpage, purchase offers poured in. The bidding went beyond my wildest expectations. I collected the money proudly. After all, without my craftsmanship, the mannequin would have been worthless. I sent silent blessings to Lady Miriam. Most of the money I spent on personal desires, yet unease gnawed at me. Sleep eluded me that night, haunted by the memory of her trembling hands. The following morning, I found myself at the doorstep of the mannequin's former owner. Could she be in dire need after quitting her tailoring? I felt compelled to give her the remaining money, even if it wasn't her due, given she intended to throw the mannequin away. Lady Miriam's face lit up seeing me. She invited me in for tea and biscuits. Her home was tiny, emanating a unique scent from the dried flowers scattered around. I showed her the photos of the refurbished mannequin. Overwhelmed, tears streamed down her face.
"Thank you, Mr. Jad. You breathed life into Sophia."
"Sophia?"
Yes. That's the name I gave it when I first saw the mannequin in a shop window. I had persuaded my father, who was with me, to buy it. I promised him I'd care for it. We weren't wealthy back then.
Why Sophia? Why not a more traditional name?
She was the protagonist of a foreign film I had seen, an epitome of grace, beauty, and happiness.
I handed Lady Miriam the money I'd brought. Initially hesitant, she accepted, perhaps out of need. Noticing a small, beautiful table in a dim corner, I hesitated before inquiring, "This table, if..." "Take it." I took the small table and ran to my house like a child. I didn't tell Miss Miriam what I intended to do, for it was a secret that filled my heart with an enthusiasm I had never felt before. I stripped the old color off the table, filled the cracks with a special substance, then sanded it smoothly. I chose a modern color that I knew my customers would love. Essentially, I preserved the beauty of that piece and gave it a youthful appearance, much like a cosmetic surgeon might do. I waited for the paint to dry thoroughly to see the final result and was so pleased that I wished I could keep this table in my house. After taking several pictures of the table, I posted them on the internet and began to wait. I wanted to get the highest possible amount from the buyers, so I encouraged them to bid against each other. Meanwhile, I visited Miss Merriam, bringing with me some delicious food and sweets. She asked me what I had done with the small table, but I changed the subject because it was truly a personal matter. When the bids for the small table soared, I sold it at a price beyond imagination. Upon receiving the money, I went to the man who bought Sophia from me. He never intended to sell her to me or to anyone, but I offered him an unexpected price and told him the story of Miss Merriam. How can I describe Miss Merriam's reaction when I knocked on her door and hid behind the wall so that she wouldn't see me, but only the mannequin standing in front of her? I heard a soft scream and her murmuring,
Sophia, Sophia, how beautiful you are.
I appeared in front of her with a wide smile, saying, Sophia missed you and her home. She asked me to return her to where she truly belongs.
Do you mean?
Yes, that's what I mean. You made a promise to your late father, and I don't want you to break it.
But you sold her.
I promised, and I bought her back, thanks to your small table.
So, you lost some of your money and effort.
And gained the sight of your smile and those tears of joy. Miss Merriam hugged me, and we then placed the mannequin in the center of the living room, sitting silently and watching it with joy. I continued to visit Miss Merriam every week for years. I assisted her as much as I could in a delicate manner, so I wouldn't hurt her pride. She bequeathed Sophia to me after her death. Miss Merriam passed away peacefully in her sleep. I grieved for her a lot since she had truly become my close friend. I took Sophia to my house, as if I was taking a gem, a summary of Miss Merriam's life, to keep her alive in an indirect way. I didn't sell Sophia even when I faced financial difficulties. Once my situation stabilized, I made a glass box for her to protect her for the rest of my life. I know Miss Merriam watches over me from wherever she is, smiling at me every moment, praying for my well-being in everything I do. I thank her for the utmost trust she placed in me, which I never betrayed. To bring joy to a fellow human's heart is a deed beyond any value.